Well, it's really kind of a strange story. I think a lot of people think I'm a little bit nuts for it, but I was doing a marriage retreat where I was performing some music, and after the retreat, I just had this thought kind of hit me that Manhattan needs a music festival. It needs to be a Christian music festival, and we're going to call it Lutherpalooza. But it stuck with me, and so I spoke with my pastor at the time, Michael Eady, and I said, I've got this idea that came to me, and I think we should do it. And he said, well, I've got an idea too. If you're going to pull something like that off, we should have something to do with a charity. And one of our secretaries has a friend who has cancer.
Well, my friend Katie, she was 22. She was a coworker of mine, and she got diagnosed with a really rare form of cancer. It was called spindle cell sarcoma, and she didn't have any health insurance. And
the idea of worship, community, and charity became kind of our mantra. And it was kind of a interesting situation because there was another guy that got involved named Dave Romero, and really dynamic preacher.
Well, first of all, getting an email from Neal, you get emails from a lot of people, but I can see within the email that this guy had a heart for community. And my heart is to reach into communities, so it was a no-brainer for me to say to my team, we're going to do this. So my expectations were not very high. They were kind of low, just because I've been around it a long time, and going into an event like that, you just don't know how it's going to run, and sometimes it can be chaotic. But I did come with an expectation to worship with our teams.
And after they were done, he came over, kind of gave each other a hug, and I said, dude, I need you to be in this. And he said, okay, sure.
And just knew that his heart was to see God lifted up. So I decided this is going to be a good event for us to belong to. Didn't know it was going to go anywhere beyond that. I knew we were raising money for a young lady who was fighting cancer, which again, our heart at our church is to reach out into this community and be a community-minded people.
And she actually didn't know until after it was over that she was the only beneficiary. She thought it was divided up between her and several other people. And so when I told her that we had raised $4,000 for her, she's like, oh, that's awesome. Like, how much of that, does it go to everybody? And I was like, no, that's all for you. And she was absolutely floored and just so grateful for the help.
My first impression was that there was this community-based effort to bring local churches together for the sake of praise and worship and in helping somebody out. And I thought, man, that's just fantastic. We don't have anybody doing anything like that in the area. I need to be part of that.
Very easy for me to understand where it was going. Didn't know how we were going to get there, but that's kind of that faith thing that I really enjoyed seeing God just lay out in front of us.
I really, really enjoyed it, and so it never even crossed my mind that I wouldn't do it again the next year. It was such a fun thing to be able to do.
And from that point forward, we started planning, and it just seemed like each year we planned bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, I think it's starting to really, I think the tree is starting to bear fruit.